Yo, yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a great weekend or had a great weekend. You guys know the vibes, man. Let's get it. About that time. It is about that time. Yes, sir. Pascal, Nelson, Casey, Steadfast, John, Tupac, Jaden, Prizzo, George, Jabdim, Cherry, Francisco, Tony, Danny, Raya, Rob, Ace, Jacqueline, Money. What's good, everybody? Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. We got a very big night ahead of us. Exciting trading week ahead of us. Yeah, man, let's get it. You guys know the vibes, man. We'll let everybody join, get comfortable, get situated, and then we will get started, man. Where's everybody tuning in from? Where's everybody at? Where is everybody tuning in from? Where are you guys at, man? What's up, Mello? Shay, what's good, brother? Anthony, what's up, man? J-Man. J Banks. Yo. Edwin. Pablo. What's good, everybody? For anybody that's new here, what you can look forward to tonight. First, we're going to go over the economic calendar for the week ahead, and then we're going to get into the watch list. But before that, we'll get into futures. We'll go over ES, NQ, and then get into the watch list for the week ahead. Denver, Connecticut, Michigan, North Carolina, LA, Quantico. Yo, you're right down the street. Miami, LA, Houston, Baltimore, Richmond. Okay, Atlanta. Brooklyn in the building. Okay. Big BX. Maryland, Jersey, VA. Let's go. Louisiana. Down in the boot. Dallas. Let's go, man. Let's go. Alrighty. Everybody can see clear. Everybody can hear clear. If so, drop a ready in the chat and we'll get this thing rocking, man. We'll get this thing rocking. Richmond, New Orleans, Austin. Let's go, man. Boston, Jacksonville. Let's go, H-Town. Alrighty. Everybody's ready. Let me go ahead and make this screen bigger for you guys. And we will get this thing going, man. Let's have a great night tonight, as always. If anybody has any questions at any point in time, feel free to ask it. I'll be more than happy to answer. Looks like our light counter is back to not working again. So that's very awesome. I'll just keep tabs on it. You guys know the vibes, man. I'll do my best to keep tabs on it. And we'll do the giveaways at the end. First things first here, let's get into this economic calendar for the week ahead. We'll go ahead and start off with, let's get it. So, we are going into Monday, October 7th, 2024. Kicking off the week, we have a couple Fed speakers trickled in here. 1 p.m., 1:50. Nothing of importance. Another one, what is that, 6? Something like that. Nothing of importance. Anything outside of J-Powell, in my opinion, it's not really anything to pay attention to. Tuesday, nothing really of importance here. So Monday and Tuesday, we're good to go. Wednesday, this is where the fun begins. Wednesday, we have FOMC minutes. And that is going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right? Now, there is a big difference here from FOMC, the statement, FOMC, the speech, and FOMC minutes, okay? FOMC minutes meeting is simply a closed-door release, right? In terms of influence, I would say it has half, if not less than half, of the influence of regular FOMC. Maybe a quarter, not even that. Might be giving it a little bit too much power. It's important, but it's not as important as regular FOMC, nor will we have a speech from J-Powell. So make sure you guys keep that on watch. That's going to be Wednesday, October 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Biggest days of the week here are going to be Thursday and Friday. Thursday specifically, we have CPI at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a big market mover. straight like that. No other way to put it than a big market mover. This will move the market in one direction or the other. We have our usual as well, jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time as well. So biggest day of this week is going to be on Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Friday, to follow that up, we have PPI, which is going to be at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the big days this week are going to be Thursday and Friday. Friday, PPI, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, followed by consumer sentiment. So very, very, very big days. Thursday into Friday. Wednesday is also important. So pretty much the end of the week here for this upcoming trading week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are going to be very important for the upcoming trading days in terms of sentiment and structure. I think we can really see a nice move from these data points. These are very important data points. CPI, PPI, FOMC minutes. If we can get these on the same page, right? If we can get PPI good, CPI good, or FOMC minutes good, CPI good, we can get at least two of them on the same page. I think that'll create a very, very nice move in the market, and we can definitely capitalize off that reaction. So with that being said, we know what to look forward to in terms of economic data this week. Let's get into the charts. First things first here, we're going to kick it off with ES. I know a lot of you guys like to follow along. So when you guys are ready, you guys let me know, and we will rock out, man. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Welcome in, everybody. William, what's up? Melvin, Doug, Michael. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Got to check out Cart. I'll check it out. Just remind me once I start going over individual names here in a little bit, and I'll check it out for you guys. For everybody that trades futures, I know a lot of you guys like to follow along. Like I said, just drop a ready, and I'll rock out. Don't want to leave anybody behind. Keep this thing rocking, man. Keep this the wheels turning. Keep the wheels turning. Y'all ready? Alrighty, cool. Let's get it. So this is the monthly chart, right? Now, last week I spoke about something that was very important, which was the close on that previous month bar, which would have been September, right? If you look at this chart here, we're building very, very well into these all-time highs. Like if you were just to break down the structure from the last couple months, right? Overall structure in this chart, very important to note, is bullish, right? We are very bullish here, right? This is a very bullish time frame. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, the last couple months, all right? August. No, what is that? Is that August? June, July, August, September, October. Okay, yeah, so August. Very crazy month. 15% downside move followed by a 15% upside move. Closed a very strong bullish hammer, right? September. Started off weak. Quickly was bought back up and now closed a very strong hammer doji as well. Right? So these past 2 months, sellers have attempted multiple times to go lower, to reverse, right? But what has happened every time? Picked back up, pushed into new highs, right? So at this specific moment, this chart is still very, very bullish. I mean, even through October here, it's early on, it's only 6 days in, but still we have seen a pullback, right? We've seen a pullback fresh into October. We've seen that in August. We've seen that in September. And every time we've seen that, what was followed was a massive rip. Right? So I feel like these charts do have a lot of potential to go higher, right? The overall structure is there to go higher, specifically on these monthly timeframes, right? And there's one thing I want you guys to pay attention to tonight when I'm going through these charts, and I always talk about it, right? There's the 2 C's that we look for, conflict and confluence, right? So pay attention to ES, pay attention to the rest of the names we're going to, and I want you guys to notice the confluences between all of these charts, or notice the conflict so you can spot that relative name in terms of weakness or strength, right? So monthly standpoint here on ES, very, very strong. Without doubt, looks like we went a lot higher. Weekly chart, you could say the same, right? The weekly chart, you could definitely say the same, right? Overall structure is very bullish. Got our higher highs and higher lows throughout here. We had that pullback towards the end or beginning of September. End of September, ripped all the way into new highs. Now we're kind of just forming a beautiful little flag here on the weekly after breaking those previous all-time highs. I mean, even last week's session, if you really zoom in here, it was some interesting action, right? Last week, we broke that previous week's low, put in a new low, and we looked like we were going to go lower, right? What happened? Quickly bought back up and closed fairly strong. So now it leaves us with this beautiful little flag here on the weekly, right? And as long as the structure is still intact, I mean, you can't be short, right? Like it's not smart. If you want to hedge long term, it's a good idea. Or if you want to scalp, right, it's a great idea. But as of right now, I would consider these charts very strong. Now, when the conflict comes in is these lower time frames, right? Like if you look at the daily chart, structure is still very bullish without doubt, right? We just pulled back into this major demand here, 5720, 5700. We held, right? So the overall structure here on the monthly, weekly, and daily is still very, very bullish, right? But now we're just back into these previous all-time highs. And this is what I really want to talk about going into this week ahead. Right now, we're trading in this nice little rising wedge, whatever you want to call it. What I want to focus on is these very important levels. So as you guys can see, last week we pulled back into this major demand, right? This was very important for the market, right? These pullbacks in an uptrend or pops in a downtrend are very important, right? The reason they're very important is because we need to see that buyers or sellers are still present. And we've seen that last week, right? We pushed back down to this 5730 and we built a very, very, very nice base, right? We did 100%, right? We built this nice little double bottom, broke that structure. Now we're working our way back in all-time highs. So even this hourly chart, the overall uptrend is still intact, but we are approaching these previous all-time highs. And on top of that, we're still just range bound, right? So monthly chart, obviously, overall trend is very bullish, weekly bullish, daily bullish. But once you get down to this hourly, we're kind of just in a big range here, right? We have that rally, we have a base, and you guys all know what can come from that. It can come from, it can be a rally-based rally or a rally-based drop. So what we need to be doing is being open-minded. Right, so the game plan for the week ahead is going to be as follows. Right now, in my opinion, we are trading in a big supply, right? You guys can see that, right? We are in a very big supply here. This 5,800 level is a very big supply. And then right above that, we have an even bigger supply, which is from that previous all-time highs. So we're just trading back into this macro supply. In my opinion, this is not a chart that I love, right? In fact, what I would look to do here at this specific moment, if you trade futures, and I'm already in a position on futures, but I like this NQ chart a lot. I mean, excuse me, I'm thinking of NQ because I'm already in NQ. But what I want to do is go over these levels first, and then I'm going to give you guys a trade idea that I'm watching. So first things first here, right? Big level to watch, 5,800, right? That's where we're currently trading right now. This was that big pivot from last week. Seeing that pop, faded, reclaimed, now we're testing it again. As long as we're within this range, right, this is kind of like a no trade zone for me. You guys can see what's happened through here. It's just been a bunch of chop, a bunch of nonsense. We've seen this pretty much the whole time, right? There's really been nothing exciting happening in this range. So for ES, for SPY this week, I want to see a break of this range. In order for, and you guys know I stick to my plan pretty well for the most part, besides Thursday and Friday last week. I want to see this break, right? I don't want to participate in this range anymore, right? There's plenty of other things that we can trade. So in my opinion, unless ES gets back above 800, excuse me, and they can break all-time highs at 5830, that's when I'll look to pick up a long position to go higher. Very simple. Downside, first watch I want to have here is if we pull back to this 5730, 5720 area, I would look for a demand bounce here. You guys seen this is an extremely credible area of demand. We've held on multiple occasions regardless of support or resistance. So this is that major level. So the big line in the sand levels this week are going to be that 5830 to the upside and that 5720 to the downside, right? As long as these are holding, we're still range bound, right? If you want to look for longs, we need to be above 5830, right? Very simple. If you want to look for shorts, we need to be below 5720. That simple going for the week ahead. Or really, until it breaks, right? We're ultimately just in this range. And I don't like the action that we've seen in this range, especially after last week. So I'm just going to stay patient. I don't really love this ES chart at all. I don't. I'm just being honest with you guys. NQ, on the other hand, I do like at the moment. So if we start on this monthly time frame, overall structure is bullish, right? We can all see that. We can all see that very clearly, right? We pulled back, held that major demand, put in a higher low here on the monthly. Now we're kind of building very nice. August was very strong. September is very strong. October seen an early pullback. Now we're strong again. So the overall structure here is very bullish. We're very strong. Weekly time frame, I would give that the same respect, right? Just forming a nice little bull flag here after putting another higher low in on this weekly chart, excuse me, right? So we obviously had that low, swept that previous low. Now we put in a higher low and are working on another higher low here. This chart is still very bullish, right? But as we work into these lower time frames, you'll see that start to shift. So from a monthly standpoint, very bullish. Weekly standpoint, very bullish. Daily standpoint, I would even consider pretty bullish. But we are trading back into a macro supply, and that's what I want to talk about right now. So if you guys look at this chart right here, this is a very big supply. This is where we were trading in last week. Now, I didn't post this on my Sunday watch list because this is a setup that I I was watching pretty much overnight, right? I just entered. As you guys can see, this 2250, 2300 area was a very big supply from last week. Now, I'm already in this, I'm already green a little bit, but in my opinion, going into tomorrow's session, right, as long as we're below this 2300, really 2270, I think shorts are valid, right? I think we can see a nice little pullback into tomorrow's session or Tuesday back into at least 2080, right? Now, my overall game plan is going to be a little bit different, right? Upside, what I want to watch here on NQ is very simple. If we can break that 2270, right, the level I just spoke about, if we can get above that, I think this has a lot of room higher. If we get above 2270, that opens the door for 2330, 2400, and then back into this 2600 level. So I think the upside potential to squeeze is there if we get above that 2270. This is a critical level for this upcoming trading week. Now, in terms of the downside, I don't really love much outside of this reject I'm speaking about right now. But if we do happen to pull back, I want to watch this 19800, 19900 area for demand bounce, right? You guys have all seen this level be extremely respected regardless of support or resistance. So I definitely want to keep an eye on that area. Big line in the sand levels to watch for the week ahead. Downside, if we can get below 19800, just hang on tight. It's lights out down in the 195s. Okay, upside 2270, that's the level we need to be watching. And this is essentially the same range as ES, right? It's just range bound. So ideally we get a break, then we can look to trade it. As of right now, I would consider this just overall higher risk, right? But that's what I'm watching on ES. That's what I'm watching on NQ. Since we're on NQ, let's get over to QQQ. I know a lot of you guys like to follow along with QQQ and SPY specifically. So drop it ready in the chat and we will get this thing rocking. Alrighty, everybody's ready? Let's get it. So, we all just looked at the monthly time frame, right? On NQ, pretty much same structure here, very, very bullish. Weekly time frame, very, very bullish. But I do want to speak about a couple things, right? One, on the monthly, we have a very, very exaggerated bearish divergence. Weekly, we have a very exaggerated bearish divergence. RSI is making a lower high, stocks attempting to make a higher high, right? If you go to the daily, it's going to be similar, right? But what I really want to talk about is one, that daily close from Friday. That's a very interesting close considering we had that break of structure below 484. Friday, we reclaimed that and closed fairly strong here on the daily. So this QQQ chart, in my opinion, looks like it went a lot higher. But as we spoke about with NQ, we're just back into this massive supply here. 489 is going to correlate to that 2270 I spoke about on NQ, so make sure you guys keep an eye on that level. Now, last week, we took multiple trades off of this 478. Right? This was the demand we traded. And this can be the same levels we trade this week. Right? You can see QQQ ultimately is just stuck in a range. So the levels that correlate from NQ to QQQ, 19800 is going to be that low. Right? So if we pull back, we can watch that 19800 correlate to 477.50 on QQQ. If we show strength here, I 100%, would be interested in a demand bounce. Right? Now, the main watch, right? If we can get below 477.50, I will be very confident going short back down into 470, right? So this is the game plan here on QQQ. Initially, we can watch that 477.50, 478 area for a demand bounce. If we get below it, that's where we can confidently look to go short. In terms of upside, right? 489.20 is that 2270 pivot on NQ. So if we can get above 2270, 489 on QQQ, longs are very valid back to this 494. 494 is that daily structure. This is where we need to be really, really cautious. This is the pivot. Okay, so going into this level, if you are long, you want to be cautious. The main watch here is going to be, hey, one, if we get above it, we can look for those pullbacks to go long. I think that 500 level is pretty imminent, right? Now, on the flip side, if we show weakness in that area, 494, 495, it would be valid for a reject, right? So we got our hands full this week for QQQ, NQ, SPY, ES. They're beautiful charts. We just got to move, right? That's the bottom line. Right now, they're just range bound, right? And we traded the range last week. It was okay, right? Ranges were wide. ATR was wide. Like if you look last week, this was an $8 range, and we were pretty much meeting that range every single day. $5 move up, $5 move down. So there is value there, but you have to understand when the market is range bound like this, you got to understand, for one, the intentions with your trade, right? If you know the market's range bound, don't be trying to swing for 100%. Don't be trying to swing for 200% if you know that the structure isn't there for you to do so, right? When you want to swing for those higher percentage trades, you want to make sure those multiple time frames are in confluence with the overall direction you are trading, right? That's a big difference. Like I see a lot of people take counter trend trades and then get mad when they get reversed on, but they're taking a counter trend trade. If you're taking a counter trend trade, you need to be selling into that structure, whether it's intraday, whether it's hourly, or whatever the case may be. You got to understand the actual context of the trade you're taking so you know how to manage it. Right? Like trend trades in terms of breakouts or trend bounces or trend rejects, you can have a lot of more confidence holding if you're trading with the overall trend versus if you're taking counter trend trades. You do want to take profit a little bit quicker considering it's counter trend. You're banking on the market to reverse on a dime, right? So you do want to trim a lot quicker on counter trend trades than you do with trend trades. That makes sense. But that's what I'm watching on QQQ. SPY. Simple as simple gets here, right? We can all see SPY is essentially back at all-time highs, right? Very clean chart here, building very, very well into these all-time highs. Last week, we pulled back, retested previous all-time highs. This is bullish as bullish gets, right? Like, honestly, looking back at this chart, I don't know what I was doing, right? Last week, we took this bounce, right? Everybody who live traded with me, we took this bounce, right? We were long right here off of 465, right? We were long. I shouldn't have been in that scalp mindset, right? This was a macro break and retest. I should have picked up a swing is what I should have done. You know, in hindsight's 2020, but you always want to learn from your mistakes, right? Last week, you hear me spoke about it on my Instagram on Friday. I just was poorly. I was managing trades poorly, right? I didn't take a single loss last week, but all of my winning trades I managed poorly, right? I left too much money on the table to be comfortable. And if it was only one trade, it would be no problem. But it was multiple trades that I managed poorly. And this weekend, you know what I did? I went back to my journal and I analyzed every single trade I took from Wednesday into Friday. And I noticed one factor, right? The one factor was I did not zoom out, right? I was overly focused on that intraday time frame in the 5-minute and 15-minute, and I just got caught up in the weakness we seen early in the week, and I was letting that trickle into my trading intraday, right? So I let that weakness that we seen, that break of structure on the lower time frame, keeping those higher time frames out of my mind. Even though we broke structure on the hourly, the overall macro trend was still bullish, but yet I had that mindset of reverse, 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 and that hindered me from managing trades properly. So going into the week ahead, I'm giving you guys the same pep talk I essentially gave myself. Be aware of all time frames, and I'm always going to be transparent. I'm always going to be honest in terms of mistakes that I made, what I did right, what I did wrong, because you guys can learn from my experience, right? You can, right? So last week, where I went wrong, which is kind of being overly obsessed with that lower time frame reversal versus paying attention to the overall macro trend. That's where I went wrong last week. Say, for example, Tesla short, QQQ long, SPY long. Like that retest there was worthy of a swing, right? This is what we look for. This is an A+ break and retest, right? So a little frustrated with last week, but that's last week. This is this week, right? So my goal is to learn from my mistake last week. But yeah, you guys can see here, just a very clean break and retest. Clean as clean gets, right? Now what we have is just a classic rally base, right? And you guys know what can come from this, either a rally base rally or a rally base drop. Levels are clear as day. We have that previous all-time high resistance, which is now support at 565. That is the line in the sand, clean, cut, and clear, right? Long as SPY is above this 565, 566, we can simply just look for pullbacks into this demand to go long, essentially what we did last week. Now, upside, very simple here, right? If we can get back above 575, I think the squeeze is on back into 580 easily. 580, I do want to watch for a potential rejection because this is the top of this trendline resistance in which we've been rejected from previously on multiple occasions. You guys can see it starts back here, rejected once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5 different occasions we've rejected this trendline resistance. So if we do break that 575, I do want to go long. I'm a long buyer on that break and hold of 575. But as we approach that 580 area, 581, I do want to look to flip short for a reject, right? Now, let's say the market gets weak, right? Let's say the market gets weak. We break this range. Market gets back below 565. This is where we can confidently say, hey, I'm comfortable shorting the pop. I'm comfortable being short, back down in the 560. I think if SPY breaks 565, 560 is imminent. After 560, we'll see low 555, 550s for sure, right? This chart is beautiful. This is a beautiful chart. This chart is worthy of putting risk on if we can break, right? As of right now, I would consider this a no trade zone, right? And you guys can see why. We're just range bound, right? We have a range that's set. We got to do patient. We got to be patient, and wait for the range to break, right? That's our job. React and not predict. We can easily buy the top of the range, say, oh, it's going to reverse, or, short the bottom of the range, says, oh, it's going to break, but ultimately there's no confirmation there, right? So always be patient. Let the market make its move and you react to it. But yeah, guys, that's what I'm watching on SPY. That's what I'm watching on QQQ. Let's get into these individual names for the week ahead. We're going to go ahead and kick it off first with Meta. Beautiful, beautiful chart for the week ahead, and you guys can see why. Big outperformer here Friday. This is the clear example of relative strength, right? If anybody struggles with identifying a relative name in terms of being strong against the market or weak against the market, simply go look at Meta on Friday against other names, QQQ, SPY, other beta names, and how they performed. Meta was a big outperformer, right? Insane relative strength, right? Trading at new all-time highs. That's the definition of an outperformer. That's a definition of relative strength. These are the names that we want to focus on, okay? So as you guys can see here, Meta's just beautiful, right? Clean all-time high break. Very strong across the board. Now, I do want to speak about one thing. It's overextended, right? We all know that, right? Meta is a bit overextended, but I do think there's more value here, whether it's the bounce or it's the breakout, right? I do think that there will be more value here on Meta. Now, I didn't post this on my watch list because it's a big higher risk. There's a nice level here at 588, which was that Friday structure. If we can pull back into 588, I would be interested in a higher risk bounce, right? But my main watch here on Meta is going to be two things. One, if we can pull back into this 582, 580 on Meta, this is an A+, high conviction, high confidence demand bounce I would look to take. Grab starters at that 582, scale into that 580 with a stop below 579. This is a trade I love. Now, on the flip side, Meta continues to show strength. If we can get above 600 and hold, I think that Meta can absolutely squeeze. I think above 600, anybody who's short has to cover, and this thing is going to get parabolic. So watch Meta above 600. This is really likely to go much higher. So make sure you guys keep that on watch. Main watch is going to be that 580, 582 area for demand bounce, higher risk level 588 or above 600 for continuation. And that's the game plan on Meta. Now, the next name I want to cover here is a name I'm extremely happy to talk about. One, because I had my biggest trading day ever on it. And two, last week, we absolutely killed this swing. This swing, man, we've been absolutely killing swings. I think our past 20, 21 swings have been green, right? Knock on wood. We haven't taken a single loss on a swing, like an actual swing. I took a loss on a lotto, so that's a little bit different. But a high confidence swing. The past 20, 21 swings have been green, right? And everybody who's traded with me can attest to that. But CRM was a trade I'm extremely proud about. We were watching this last week. I spoke about it all week long. That 270, 272 area. And if you guys notice, this is just a beautiful textbook A+ swing, right? We had that macro breakout, formed that beautiful bull flag right back into that previous structure, 270, 272. We entered long here, and we caught that whole move up. This was a beautiful trade. Tons of value here for you guys to learn from. If you want to know what an A+ swing setup looks like, CRM. This is what an A+ break and retest looks like. Picture perfect chart. And I'm very curious, how many of you guys caught this with me? I hope so, because I literally preached to you guys last week on Sunday that I was blue in the face about CRM, and then Monday we entered CRM. Tuesday we added to the CRM. So hopefully you guys caught this. But let's talk about this week. Enough with the past. What we are watching here. First things first is a pullback. If we can get a pullback into this 282, 280 area, this is where I'm going to look to pick up a demand bounce on CRM to go higher. On the flip side, if we continue showing strength and we can get back above 290, that's where I want to look for that continuation on CRM back into that 300 psychological level. As long as we're above that 278, 280 area, I think this is a very valid name to be long on, right? Above 290, I think this can get parabolic into 300. This is a beautiful chart. Next, we have Microsoft, right? Now, I want to see if you guys pay attention. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen my Sunday watch list, which is okay, right? But I want you guys to tell me why I like Microsoft for the week ahead and what direction I am watching it and why. Just let's see who pays attention. Why do I like Microsoft for the week ahead? Or what stands out about it? Let's see who pays attention. As of right now, I do owe you guys a giveaway as well. Let me write that down. I owe you guys one giveaway right now. But let's see who pays attention. Let's see who pays attention. Relative weakness, right? I mean, look at this chart compared to SPY. Look at this chart compared to QQQ. Look at this chart compared to Meta. Look at this chart compared to Nvidia. Look at this chart compared to Tesla. Look at this chart compared to AMD. Look at this chart compared to Google. Big difference, right? Big difference. It's extremely weak, right? Y'all can see here, Microsoft is very, very, very weak. So, with that being said, what we need to be watching here is this drop base, right? You guys can see here, broke a massive, massive supply here at 425, 426, sold off very aggressively. Now we're kind of forming a nice base here at 414. So the game plan here on Microsoft is going to be two things, right? First things first is if we can get below 414, I would love to go short on this name back down to 410. Below 410 is where things really get interesting. This has room down to 400. So below 414, this is one of my top short watches if we can get that drop base drop. Now, on the flip side, let's say market gets strong. Microsoft gets strong. Above 420, I didn't post this on my watch list because it is higher risk. But above 420, Microsoft is very likely going to squeeze back into this 425, 426. Now, the main watch is going to be this 425, 426 reject. But we could look for a higher risk long entry above 420 into that supply. But it would be higher risk considering you are long into a supply. So the main watches here on Microsoft are going to be below 414 and down in that 410 and 400, or that reject of a 425, 426, which you guys can see is a very significant supply. Okay? And that's going to be the game plan here on Microsoft for the week ahead. Next, we have Tesla. This is a very, very beautiful chart. I'm going to let you guys know exactly why. So if you look at this Tesla chart here, we've had quite the consolidation, right? If you look at this monthly chart, it doesn't look like much, but I want you guys to pay attention to one thing, right? Look at this current monthly candle and the way that it's flipping, right? If we can close out October strong on Tesla, I think this has room back into 300, 350 fairly quick. Right? If you look at the weekly time frame, we're getting that same build, right? We got a nice outside bar here on the weekly. Daily chart, we have a beautiful, beautiful level here at 251. And if you go down to the hourly, that'll translate to that massive supply, which we traded last week, right? This is why I was watching Tesla short last week. You guys can see the significance of this 250, 251 area, right? We took this trade. When was it that we took this trade? I think we took it on Monday, right? No, we took it on Thursday. Thursday is when I shorted Tesla. Yeah. I shorted Tesla on Thursday off of 250, paper handed it. Friday, I hesitated. Friday, I entered that 251, paper handed again, and that's when I made the Instagram post. Yeah. So we're essentially watching the same thing as last week, right? Going into the week ahead on Tesla, we're back into this massive supply here, 250, 251. Except I got a different approach this week, right? I like the way that Tesla is building, right? So context is super important. Tesla pulled back, right? It broke that structure, 251, 250, retested it, failed it multiple times. But look at what we pulled back into. Tesla pulled back into this 200 MA on the weekly along with this massive demand. So the context for Tesla bouncing is there. The context for Tesla to go higher is there. We just retested a macro demand. Buyers stepped in, buyers picked it up, and we've visually seen that. Right? So what we need to be watching for the week ahead is this major 251 level. This is my top long watch. If Tesla can get above 251, I think this is going to go absolutely parabolic, fill this massive imbalance into 260. So above 251 on Tesla, I am a long buyer back into this 260, and I think we'll see that move fairly quick. Now, on the flip side here, if we fail this 250, 251, that's okay. If we pull back into this 235, 237 area, that's where I'm going to look to flip long for a demand bounce off that macro demand. So the game plan here on Tesla is above 251, we can look to go long or pull back into 235, 237 for a demand bounce. That's the game plan for the week ahead on Tesla. Apple. Now, let's see what we got here. Monthly chart. Let's break it down. As you guys can see, majority of these time frames look very strong. Right? If you look at Apple, what happened? pull back to this macro demand here, previous all-time high resistance, turn support, form that massive pin bar, and we're just building into the new highs here. This is a very strong chart, right? Without doubt. If you look at the weekly, kind of just forming this nice little pennant here, going into these all-time highs at 237. But as you guys can see, we do have a major supply here at that 232, which has been a big inflection point for pretty much the past month and a half on Apple, and we're really struggling to break it. But what we do want to note here is these higher lows that we are pushing into that massive resistance. We're building, right? So what I want to watch here on Apple is this drop base, right? You guys can see here, we had a beautiful drop, followed by a nice base here. So this is a nice either or setup I'm watching for the week ahead. I want to watch two things here on Apple, right? One is if we can get above 228, I think the squeeze risk on this is very high back into 230, 232. Now, on the flip side, if Apple gets weak, I want to look for that break and hold below 223. This has nothing but room back into 220. So the game plan is very simple here on Apple. I think this is a great either or setup. Whatever the market gets strong or Apple gets strong or market gets weak, Apple gets weak, we can have a nice setup here above that 228 for longs or below 223 for that short position, for that drop base drop. This is a very nice chart. Obviously, all we need is the break. Anything in between would be considered that no trade zone. So don't try to be smarter than the market and predict it. Just be patient, let it break, and then we can react. Next here is AMD. Absolutely love this chart, right? If you guys look at this AMD chart, it's absolutely beautiful, right? You guys can see here, we pulled back into this monthly demand, held very nice, formed this beautiful monthly bull flag now. This is a very, 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 very nice chart. You can even call it a monthly cup and handle. You can call it whatever you want. It's bullish, right? So that's what we got here on AMD. Very, very nice chart. Last week, we broke this weekly downtrend, got a nice closure above that 150 level. If you go down to the daily, this is an even prettier chart. Now just broke that 168.50, which was that big pivot from last week, and we're currently sitting in this massive gap fill back into 176. If you notice, we closed very strong on Friday with rising volume. This is going to be my top long watch for the week ahead. AMD, what we need to be watching is two things, right? One, excuse me, I don't know what happened to my level here. One is if we can pull back, right? This is a bit higher risk, but I do like it, right? If we can pull back into this 168, 167 area, I want to look for a demand bounce. It's higher risk, but I do like it. The main watch is going to be above Friday's highs, right? If we can get above 171, this is huge, right? We have nothing but room back into the top of that gap fill at 175. So this is a very, very, very nice chart for the week ahead. Crazy bullish monthly chart. Weekly looks amazing. Daily looks amazing. Hourly looks amazing. This is a top watch for the week ahead as long as that 167, 168 demand holds or we get above that 171. And that's what I'm watching for the week ahead on AMD, guys. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful chart. Now, what I want to do is go over the top swing I'm watching for the week ahead. We've been on absolute fire as of late with the swings. So I want to keep the train running, right? I want to keep the train running, right? And just for context, let me show you guys how crazy we've been going on swings, right? Look at this. And I missed a few here for sure, but you guys can see here. We've been going absolutely crazy. I hope you guys have caught stem. Last week, go back and watch the recording. That's all I'm going to say. But CRM, we caught 3 different times, one for 100%, one for 50%, and then our last entries up 50% again. We caught STEM for 50%, BA for 30%, QQQ and SPY twice. Gold was 150%, Starbucks was 80%, SPY and QQQ short was 80%, Dollar Tree 150%. We've been going absolutely crazy with the swings. And the crazy thing is, I called every single one of them beforehand on these Sunday lives, right? And then I go into the trading week, trade live for free on Zoom from the Hangout channel and enter them with you guys 100% of the time, okay? Now, let's get into the swings for the week ahead. I'm not here to do anything other than help you guys learn and earn, right? That's the bottom line. That's my goal, and let's get to it. So, first things first here. Last week, I missed this, right? This was a trade I was watching last week. You guys remember from Sunday Live, was shop after retesting this demand. Unfortunately, I missed it, right? But for the week ahead, I think there still is value here on shop, right? There's 2 things I want to watch, right? If shop pulls back into this 81, 80-50 area, I want to look for a swing entry on shop, right? For a move higher. If you have a smaller account, this is great, right? Now, this is not my top watch. This is just a name I think that looks good for higher. Yeah, that stem was beautiful, man. I mean, look at the chart, right? Look at the chart. Last week, I literally told you guys verbatim that this is a stock that can absolutely explode. And the thing that I love about it, it's friendly for everyone. Like, it's fucking, we bought it at 30 cents a share. Like, there's no way that you guys cannot afford to enter a stock at 30 cents a share. You guys could at least bought 10 of them things, right? You could at least bought 20 of them, or 30 of them, or 40 of them, or 50 of them, right? Like, even in my small account, I had 5,000 shares. In my large account, I had almost 150,000 shares at one point, right? Stem was huge, right? And I'm saying this, I don't like talking about previous trades too long because I know a lot of people don't get in. They're like, why you keep talking about it? But this was, I want you to go back to rewatch it, right? Go back to Sunday's live, understand my rationale, and implement that in your own swings, right? Like, you guys noticed an A-plus setup with me, right? So you guys should take, oh shit, Felony just gave me the recipe for an A-plus swing setup. Don't just look at it as a free play. Look at it as a learning aspect. This is what he saw. This is why he saw it. This is why he entered. This is why he took profit, right? Like, if you go look at the last Sunday's live, verbatim, right? Verbatim, Monday morning, we entered right here, right? Where did I say our target was? 0.5 on the dot. I literally, to the T, gave you guys essentially my swing strategy, right? And we caught 50% on this trade. All you got to do is go back and put the pieces of the puzzle together. It's there for you, right? It's literally there for you. But this week, right, I do like shop for higher. Snow. This is what I really want to talk about. Snow. So first things first, let's check out this weekly chart on snow, right? If you guys see snow here, we're trading back at this all-time low demand, right? What I really like about snow is the base that we are building, right? There's two ways that you can interpret this. You can interpret it as a bear flag on the weekly, or you can go to the daily and you can interpret it as a base, right? Which is what I'm saying here. I like that high volume bounce on Friday, but essentially we're still just trading in this massive base, right? You guys can see we have that drop followed by the base. So snow isn't valid yet, right? But what we need to be watching on snow is if snow can get above 117, this is going to go parabolic, right? So if we can get a nice, clean daily closure on snow above 117, I 100% will be long on snow for a swing back into this 120, 124. Above 124, we have a sick gap fill back into the 130s, right? So I know this is early, right? Snow hasn't broke yet. So, right, so that doesn't mean enter on Monday. Wait for the break of 117. There's a 99% chance that I'm going to be on Zoom every day of the week. So just go to the Hangout channel, tune into the Zooms, and you'll know when I enter. Right, it's that simple. But yeah, this is a beautiful chart. Beautiful chart. You guys can see we're just trading in this massive range right now. There's two ways we can approach this. Right, there's two ways that we can approach this. Is one, the safer route. If we get above 117, wait for that nice strong daily closure. We can enter the swing, target that 120, 124, and then 130. That's the game plan. But if snow pulls back into 109, 107, we can also enter a swing here with the stop loss back below this base, right? So there's two ways that we can trade this. I'm comfortable either way. So if it pulls back into this demand, I will go long on snow. If it gets above 117, I will go long on snow. The risk reward's there either way. The Hangout channel is on my Instagram. Just type in my name, Felony_Trades. Go to my main page. It'll be sitting there right in front of you. Simple as that. Free, one click, you're good to go. I live trade every single day for free, and that's that, right? That's that. BA. We're already in BA, but I just wanted to give you guys an update because we've been holding this shit for like 3 weeks. It feels like we've been holding BA forever. Still very valid, right? I actually like this consolidation a lot more, right? If you guys look here on BA, this channel is getting so tight, something has to happen, right? This channel is just too tight. It's going to explode one way or another. And based off the chart structure, I would say higher. We've held this 150 level on multiple occasions. We've got that nice strong bearish divergence. Hourly chart is building very, very well. If you're not in BA, right, what I would do is, one is if we pull back into this 150 level, that's where you can enter BA long, right? You can enter the same contracts we're in, use a stop loss below 146. Now, if you're already in BA, as I am now, right, what we need to see is BA above 159. Above 159, BA is parabolic into 164 and 168. So that's the trigger that we need to see to continue holding BA further, right? Beautiful, beautiful chart. Beautiful, beautiful chart. Next is SQ, right? This is a swing that I really, really like, and it's for valid reason, right? If you look at swing here, SQ here has been consolidating for some time. We have a massive range built here. Every time we've broke this midpoint of the range, essentially the average, which is about 70, we've traded back into 80 or 90. So I really like this swing a lot. As you guys can see here, we broke this downtrend on the daily, currently retesting it as support. Just a classic break and retest here, forming a beautiful bull flag after retesting that resistance turn support. This is a beautiful swing, right? So what I want to do here on SQ is two things, right? First is a higher risk entry. Higher risk entry is a pullback into 65. If we pull back into the 65 area, we can enter long on SQ with the stop loss below 64. Now, the safer entry here is if we can get above 69.40, a nice daily closure, we can enter that swing with a stop back below 69. So either way, absolutely love this chart. This is not my top swing watch, but it is my favorite for the week ahead. One of my favorites. Pan W, if you notice, it's a similar chart, almost identical, right? This is a swing I really do like, right? If you guys look at this chart here, kind of just forming a flag on the weekly, forming a beautiful little downtrend channel here on the daily. Just put in a beautiful double bottom, closed with a nice strong long leg doji here, held after breaking out of this downtrend trendline resistance, closed with a nice bullish daily candle. Looks good, but criteria is not met to enter. If you're long now in Pan W, you're early and there is a chance it will reverse. What we need to see is above 346. If we can break this recent structure on Pan W, this will be valid for a swing. If we continue to get above 346, nice strong daily closure, wait for the next pullback, that's where we can look for a swing on Pan W for a move back into these 365 highs. This is a beautiful, beautiful chart. Beautiful chart. ANF, right? Abercrombie and Fitch. Never in my life thought I'd be trading this. And I honestly look at this chart and just wonder why or how. Look at the move it made, right? That's 1,000% return on Abercrombie and Fitch. Every time I walk by this fucking store in the mall, it's dead. Where are they getting their money from? That's what I want to know. How are they making so much damn money? Does anybody know? I know they actually, I think someone told me one time, don't they own like a bunch of other stuff as well? Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they own like other stuff as well? I think so. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Does anybody know facts about it? My bad, I accidentally muted myself. But the reason I love this for a swing, right? You guys can see here, we got a beautiful monthly inside bar. Now, take note of that. Now, as we go down to this weekly, what do you notice from last week? Right? We broke that previous week's low, attempted to go lower, put in a new low, and then formed a beautiful bullish engulfing hammer doji, right? This is beautiful. So what we want to see on ANF is we want to see a break of this structure, right? If we can get above 149.50, get that nice strong daily close, something like we've seen on Friday, right? Nice rising volume above this 149.50. This is valid for a swing entry, targeting the top of this gap fill at 160. If this gets above 160, this is going back into 176, 180 easily. This is one of my top swing watches for the head. Not my favorite, but it's definitely a top swing watch above that 149.50. Looks very good. Very, very good. Next, M. Almost identical setup. So if you look at ANF, it's almost identical, right? This is Macy's. This is a beautiful, 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 beautiful chart. I mainly put this on my watch list for the small account fam, right? I know a lot of you guys have small accounts, and I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I love this, and I would take it myself on my small account and my large account. So M here, which is Macy's, you guys can see broke this downtrend, right? Broke this downtrend, trend line resistance, got a nice closure above it on Friday, but that's not enough. We need more here. If you guys notice, there's a major level here at 16, which is that structure, and also starts a double gap fill, right? We have a gap fill into the 1650, and then we have another gap fill inside of that gap fill into 1765. So what I want to see on Macy's, if we can get a strong close above 16, that would permit a swing entry, and we could target the top of this gap fill at 17.65. This is my top swing watch for the week ahead. I'm sure you guys were not expecting this one, but if we can get above that 16 level on Macy's, I think this can go absolutely parabolic back into that 1760. And if you guys notice, we have a triple gap fill. We have a gap fill after the gap fill after the gap fill into 19, right? So this is a beautiful, beautiful chart. We have a gap fill here, 16 to 16.5. We have a gap fill from 16.5 into 17.6. And then above 18, we have another massive gap fill into this 19 level. It's a triple gap fill. If we get moving to the upside, this thing is going to move like butter. It's going to cut through these levels like you've never seen before. When I've noticed these double and triple gap fills like this, stock fills them fairly quick, right? We got plenty of gap fills to fill. Above that 16, I think this can get parabolic, and I want to be part of it. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated on this chart. This looks very good. STEM we actually covered, but I do want to re-enter this. So if you guys look at this daily chart, right? We broke that massive structure last week, which was that 0.36 level, the big level I spoke about, right? We broke that, right? Which is that massive support, turn resistance. Now we're holding it, right? So if STEM can retrace back into 36, I want to re-enter long here, right? I want to pick up some more equity. My game plan is on this entry, right? If we pull back into this 0.36, I'm going to look to go long here, right? My stop loss is going to be below those daily lows at 0.3. Why is this so light? So I'm going to look to go long here off of this 0.36 level. My stop loss can be below these daily lows at 0.3. Okay, that's gonna be my stop loss here. My target is gonna be back into this 0.5. If we can get above 0.5, this is parabolic back into the 7.5s, $0.25, and then the whole dollar. So this is a chart I still like, right? I still have a couple shares, but I want to add back into it. If we pull back into this 0.36, I do want to look to re-enter with a stop loss below that 0.3. This looks very good on STEM. Lastly, we have Zoom, right? Now, we already entered this, right? We did take profit. I want to re-enter, right? I want to re-enter for very valid reason. If you notice, right, Zoom has been trading in this massive channel for some time. If you look at the monthly, we've been trading in this channel for essentially the past 2 years, right? If you look at this monthly chart, this is a beautiful chart, right? We wicked below this low here, grabbed the liquidity, formed a massive bullish engulfing. Now we have a potential 3-bar play on here on the monthly, right? This is beautiful. We have the breakout, number 1. We have the pause bar, which is number 2. And then we have that 3-bar play if we can get above these highs here. This is beautiful. These higher time frame 3-bar plays are huge, right? This monthly chart looks very good for higher. If you look at the weekly, we had that nice downtrend break, right? Broke that massive downtrend here on the weekly. Nice strong closure above it. Formed that beautiful base above it. Nice little bull flag. Nice strong closure. Looks great, right? You get down to the daily, forming that nice little higher low here. This looks very good. So what I want to watch on Zoom is 2 things, right? One is if we pull back into the 65, 66 area again, I want to look to pick up a swing here, all right? Now on the flip side, if we can clear this 72.25, that's where I'll look to enter if we don't pull back. Okay, so very clean chart here. That's what I'm watching for swings this week. There's quite a few of them, so hopefully we can catch at least one. And yeah, I'm gonna narrow down this list into tomorrow. And as always, I will give you guys an update. And yeah, man, that's what I'm watching for the week ahead. We got a ton to watch. As you guys can see, my watch list is a lot longer than it usually is, and it's for valid reason, right? We have a lot of setups in the market. Nvidia too. I didn't cover Nvidia, but Nvidia looks very good for the week ahead. Nvidia, if we can pull back into this 122.50, this is a bit higher risk, but I do like this demand bounce. If Nvidia can get back above 125.20, I think this can get absolutely parabolic into 127.70. It's one of my top long watches here. I like this build on Nvidia. If you go look at these higher time frames, they're all the same, right? Nvidia, what do you notice? A beautiful monthly bull flag, right? On top of that, what do you notice? A nice build here on the monthly already, pushing new highs. If Nvidia can break those previous month structure, this is back into 140, 150 easily. So this is a chart that you definitely want to keep an eye on for the week ahead. Apple, we already covered. Tesla, AMD, we already covered. Yeah, man, looks very good. Play. This is the top watch I wanted to talk about. I almost forgot about it. Play. You guys have known we've been holding this for ages, right? We've been holding this swing for absolute ages. And the reason being is because our demand held, right? You guys can see here, this demand at 29.50 is an absolute tank. But we just got the confirmation to keep holding, adding, or even re-entering this trade, right? So what I want to talk about here on play is this structure break of 35. If you are not in play and you want to enter play, If we are above 35, this is a great long entry, right? As long as we're above 35, you can look for those pullbacks into it. Keep your stop loss back below that 35.50, okay? If you're not in play and you want to enter, in my opinion, as long as it's above that 35 level, longs are valid. Likely going to see a move back into this 39.40 area, which is the ultimate target. That is a huge structure break. Huge structure break. If you look at the daily, we got a very nice closure, right? This is huge for play. Every single time, right? Just for perspective, we've bounced from this 30 level. We've seen at minimum a 40 to 100% plus move on equity, right? Option contracts right now from our original entry, they're up like 70, 80%. But that's because obviously they got torched holding for the past month. So now that we got the confirmation, we can enter shorter expirations more confidently. This is my top swing watch on play as long as we're above 35. If we're above 35, I love this for a long position back into 40. Risk to reward is great. Stop loss will be back below that 34.50. And yeah, guys, that's what I'm watching for the week ahead. Let's get into these giveaways. Right now, I owe you guys one giveaway for the 150. If we somehow magically get another 80 likes before the end of this live, I'll do another giveaway as always. And yeah, man, appreciate every single one of you guys for taking time out of your Sunday to come kick it. As always, I just want to let you guys know it's very appreciated. Right, my goal is to help you guys learn and earn. But let's get into these giveaways. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask it, whether it's trading, personal, entrepreneurship, whatever it may be. Feel free to ask it. All right? Feel free to ask it. Damn, I missed my ad on NQ. Fuck. God damn it. Shit. I missed my opportunity. Damn it. I literally was just talking about this. That 2270 reject. Literally just spoke about that. Did anybody take that? Fuck, that was nice. Just for perspective, a move like that on NQ, that's a 60-point move, right? Let's say you don't time the top, right? Let's say you get a 50 entry. That's a $50 move, right? This move right here, trading futures, is $1,000. If you bought one contract, you made $1,000 in 15 minutes. If you bought M&Q, you made $100. I literally just told you guys to take that 2270 reject. I didn't even take it myself. I'm in the trade originally, but I didn't add to it. Do I ever feel burnt out from trading? Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm normal just like everybody else. Everywhere else. Let's see here. What do we got question-wise? First ballot. It's not an app, right? So the Hangout is actually on my Instagram. So just go to my Instagram page, my profile, and you'll see it at the top. You have to do it on mobile. Literally, just go to my page, right? Click on my profile. It'll be right there at the top. Right there at the top. Alrighty, let's get into these giveaways, guys. Let's go ahead and knock this out. Y'all want me to pull my camera up? I kind of want to, because I ain't gonna lie. I just got my piece back, and that shit is shining. Come sometime kind of serious here. That shit is like that. Alrighty, let's get it, y'all. Let's get these giveaways going. All right, first one. Let's see here. Keyword next. Where's channel members 3x. First word. First word is going to be turbo. Let's get it, y'all. All you got to do is type turbo in the chat one time and you are good to go. Turbo in the chat one time. We are good to go. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. When I get back, we'll draw the winner. Alrighty, let's get it, everybody. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Choose a winner. Matthew Reef. That name looks really familiar. Really familiar. Really familiar. Where you at? You got 20 seconds. For anybody that doesn't know the rules, you have to attend at least 5 lives. If you attend 3, I might let you get by. At least 5 lives. I try to make it fair for everybody that's been attending here. Regulars, right? Regulars, right? Jason Morton, that's what's up, man. $2,000. Hell yeah. That's me. Where you at? Matthew Reef. Let's click on his name. Attended quite a few lives. Let's go, man. Wow. You've attended a ton. It's a good winner. That's a very good winner. Very good winner. Congrats to Matthew. It's the first winner of the night. First winner of the night. Y'all want to see something crazy or not? If you don't want to see it, I won't show y'all. But it's crazy. I'm going to show y'all anyway. I hit this earlier today. Isn't that crazy? Pretty crazy, ain't it? Pretty crazy. $10 into 68,000. $10 into 68 big ones. Big ones. Big ones. Fuck it, we'll do one more, man. We'll do another good one. We'll do a couple more, actually. Who am I fooling? Let's have a good night tonight, y'all. We'll do a couple more. Where's my camera at? We'll pull this bitch up. Bam! Where y'all at, man? Y'all see? Toodaloo! Haha. Yeah, man, got the big dog out, you know. The big dog. I'm so happy, man. I've had this for so long, but I ran into some issues with the bail not working, so I had to get it fixed. And before you guys see somebody else do it, I was the one to do it first. I'm gonna pull a Soldier Boy. Yeah, double-sided. I want to see closer. Let's see if it'll focus. Crazy. And these are baguettes with little flowers sitting around it. Woo! Woo! Crazy. Alright, where we at? Fleeky, I did. We took a couple bets today. Both of them, yeah. Both of them won, too. We took, who did we take? Cole Kmet over 24.5 yards. He got 57. And then Tyler Lockett over 39.5. He got 69. So both of our bets cashed today. Both of them. Both of them. Y'all like it? That shit's crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. I had to look at it again. Look at that. That shit's crazy. Crazy. All natural. VS1's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Crazy. All right, let's do another one. Next, what do we got? Keyword is gonna be what's the keyword? Both of them. What's the keyword? Let's have fun with it. Both of them. BOFFEM. Just trying to build. To be honest, I've done crazier stuff than that. Like that $10 into 68K was cool, but I've turned $5 into 200K before. It's crazy. crazy. Let me see if I can find them. I'll show you guys all the crazy shit I've done. All kinds of crazy shit. I've had a horseshoe up my ass, I'm not gonna lie. Had a horseshoe up my ass. Here's another one of them. I'll put a couple up here so you guys can see. Let me see. The craziest one is right here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. That's the craziest one. Yeah, that was the craziest one I've ever hit. Yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Just for basic math, that's 300, almost a half a mil. Yeah. Pretty crazy. You know, sometimes like, I just gotta pop my shit, man. You know, I don't, I'm very humble. You know what I mean? Like I don't post nothing on social media, right? And a lot of people think that because it's not posted, it's not being done, or it's not being had, or not, you know, like I've had my Lambo. How many times have you guys seen it on Instagram? Twice. That's it. Like that's that. I bought it because I enjoy it. I like it. I didn't buy it to show off, right? I don't want to be like everybody else on Instagram. You know what I mean? I don't. Right? I just want to be myself, enjoy what I enjoy, and keep it moving, man. Keep it moving. Oh, choose a winner. Let's get it. Terry and Beavers, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? How much was my M3? I think I paid 117 or something like that. $117. You're here? Where you at? Good winner. Attended more than 5. Alright, we'll do one more, then I'll go ahead and rock out. Let me send that over here. Congratulations to Terry for the second one. Let's see, got that one fixed. Okay, let's do one more, y'all, and then we'll go ahead and call that a night. Do one more. Alright. Keyword is going to be last. L-A-S-T. Yeah, man, we got a very big week ahead. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's live. Seriously, man, I appreciate every single one of you guys for taking time out of your night to come kick it. You guys know I do these every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, completely free. Don't plan on stopping. I live trade for free every day. November 3rd, I'm going to do a free small account class on how I grew both of those small accounts. Turned 5K into 25K in 3 months. Took the Webull small futures account 5K into 25K within the same 3 months. And yeah, man, I'm going to teach you guys exactly how what strategy I used, which is basically swing. And I swing, besides futures, I day traded a lot. But risk management approach I used, strategies I used. I'll teach you guys everything in terms of a small account. Now, are you going to be able to replicate it? I'm going to be honest, probably not. You know what I mean? But there's a big gap, which is experience. And as always, I'm always going to be transparent with you guys. If you guys want to learn how to trade, to be honest, do as much as you can on your own first. right? I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, if you want to take my mentorship, it's a great idea that you have the basics at least down first, right? And I tell you guys, just like I tell my mentees, I'm not gonna be your best teacher. Experiences, right? I'll give you the blueprint. I'll put the address in your Waze and your Google Maps so you know exactly what to do, when to do it, and why you're doing it. But at the end of the day, you have to drive, right? And that's very important that you guys understand that about trading, right? It doesn't matter who you learn from or what you learned. What's most important is an experience factor of being able to say, I know what to do and I know when to do it, outside of having a system and a strategy. Of course, does it help? Yes. But ultimately, experience is going to be your biggest teacher. You have to develop that recognition, right, in terms of price action, momentum, market mechanics, right? It's super, super important. But good luck, everybody. The Clark Way TV is our winner. The Clark Way TV. Let me go ahead and send this money to Dom so he can give it away to you guys. You got a couple seconds to Clark TV. Where you at? I love to hear that, Shy. I do. I love to hear that. The Clark TV says I'm here. Bam. How many lives have you attended? Quite a few, man. It's a great winner. Good shit. Good shit, good shit, good shit. Alrighty, guys. Any last minute questions? Absolutely anything. Trading, business, entrepreneurship, turbo, doesn't matter. Feel free to ask it. I'm always going to answer honestly, transparently, whatever it may be. You guys let me know. And yeah, I'll hang out for a couple more minutes, then we'll go ahead and call it a night. We'll go ahead and call it a night. How do I check? Look at this, right? This is for, I used to do it by myself. So I want you guys to understand something, right? I'm not showing this to flex or anything like that. I'm showing you guys for perspective, right? I don't have a Discord. I don't have a public Discord. I don't have monthly recurring revenue. I don't make 500, 600K, $1 million a month like some of these guys do. I still give back more than every single one of them, right? I don't post about it all over social media. I do it because I want to. I do for you guys as I wish someone would have done for me, both in education aspect and learning aspect, trading in general, right? You guys can see just since June, right? Look at that. Since June. I don't know if it's going to be able to focus, but you guys can see since June, right? It's almost 5K that I've given back on these Sunday lives to you guys, right? For free. That's it. Just tune in, you're good to go. Learn about the market, learn what to watch for the week ahead, how to create a trading plan. You have the opportunity to win money every week, right? For free, right? I'm not sitting here trying to sell shit to you the whole live, right? That's not me. I do this for you guys, right? I always have, and I always will. Always have, and I always will. Yeah, big wick. Just literally go to my Instagram, right? Go to my page. Instagram. Oh, wow, I just hit 60K too. Fuck yeah. Literally, just go to my main page on Instagram, right? You'll see it's right here. There's two of them. There's one, which is the 1% Club, which is the paid one. And then the Hangout, which is completely free. Right? You join the Hangout, you're good to go. Just click on it, you'll be good to go. Pop up something like that, you're good. But yeah, man, again, guys, I appreciate every single one of you for taking time out of your Sunday to come kick it. I'll see majority of you guys tomorrow. We'll be live trading pre-market, market open, Monday through Friday, as always. And I do allocate the open to trading exclusively with my mentees. I just like the personability of it, right? That's when the focus needs to be highest, so I dedicate that to them. But usually after that, I post it immediately. But yeah, man, hope you guys have a great night. Again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And yeah, man, I will catch you guys, majority of you guys, tomorrow morning. You guys have a good night. Peace, everybody.